Good morning, friends, followers, channel members. How are we all? Hope you're doing very, very well. A morning stream? How rare. That means my aircraft's cold and dark. Let's see if I can remember in a bit how to actually do a full cold and dark setup. It has been that long since we've had a early morning stream. I say early morning. It's early morning for me streaming. It's not actually early. It's, what is it? It's nearly 10 past 10 here, local time. So, hope everyone's having a great day. We've got an awesome flight for you today. Down to Skiathos. It's been ages since we did Greece. Greece is a plethora of islands and beautiful approaches, and of course Skiathos just adds for a little bit more in terms of things we've got to think about. It's a category C runway, it's a really narrow runway, captain's only landing, all that kind of stuff, and it's if you've never been there before, it's the one where if you are familiar with St. Martin in the Caribbean, this is Europe's equivalent, where beachgoers literally can stand almost at the threshold of the runway and get blown away. So that's going to be our plan this morning, blow everyone away. So welcome, guys. Hope you're all doing so well. Shout out to Mitov as well on Twitch this morning, who during the opening credits already subscribed with Prime on Twitch. Thanks so much, mate. I appreciate that. And as always, a shout out to our channel members as well. How you doing, Mark, Terry, Richard, Robert's here as well. Ace, good morning. Kevin, DC, Christian Stein, good morning. Lemon, Dave, good morning to you guys. Thank you so much for being here, keeping you entertained and awake on this Wednesday morning. And well, we're in Naples this morning for our flight. This is a real world, real ops flight, although it usually does only take place in the summer months, so this flight isn't currently flying around at the moment, but it will be. It's one they launch every summer, so that's basically what we're going to be doing. It does mean, however, as this flight isn't currently flying in real world, we will be using our default call sign, which is of course Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Alpine because we're in Europe and not in the UK. We are on VATSIM as per usual as well, although I don't think there's actually any VATSIM traffic around at the moment, or VATSIM air traffic control. There's some traffic around, but no ATC. Aviate, good morning to you as well. So operational flight plan is pinned into the chat if you are watching on YouTube as per usual. So let's crack on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look through it and see what we've got to play with this morning. So we've got about 14.5 tons payload. We're underloaded. That's fine. Takeoff weight is 64.2. Throw a bit of extra fuel on them, that's going to take us over the maximum landing weight, something to think about if we need to get back into Naples quickly after we depart. The alternate tonight is the alternate today is Athens, cost index of 4, flight number Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, 36,000 feet, and a nice tailwind pushes all the way down there as well. Beautiful. Shear rate is 6. That's planned to be at the top of climb, which that's it's the highest I've seen for a while. Normally above 8, that's where you might feel it a little bit. So worth taking note. The planned OFP route then is departing 24, and then they've got us arriving on runway 19. Now I might just ask you guys to check what the current winds are doing in Skiathos. I think winds are light and variable, in which case runway 01 is the preferred runway for landing, which I'd happily take this morning as well. So plug fuel is just shy of 6 tons. CNR for Athens is 2.6 tons, where we're going to commit somewhere. And a quick look at the Mora tells us that about 40 minutes into the flight we're in a little bit of an area where, should we get a decompression, we just need to think about where we're going to point the jet and head down, because there is terrain underneath us above 10,000 feet. So let's have a look there. Look at Naples. We've got a ceiling of 1,000 feet, visibility is 4 kilometers, winds are fine though. Skiathos is all good. It's literally Cat 1 stuff, as is all of the alternates and Athens, etc. So that's fine. Joe Laptop, wind variable 4 knots. Yeah, so for me that's a that's a preferred landing on 01, particularly if it's variable. Let's have a look at the forecast, see if that can give us any more information. So wind variable at 3 knots, cab okay, 22 degrees. What is the date today? Oh, it does actually say the winds are planned to get up to 220 at 7 knots. That then we would prefer 19. So we'll keep an eye on the winds as we go. At the moment, we'll keep it open mind. It could then be either, which makes it a bit more interesting, doesn't it? Athens is fine, Eklan's fine, Macedonia's fine. They're all fine. There's our flight route. And, oh my word, what the hell's that lot? So, we've got basically isolated turbulence up to 24,000 feet and isolated CVs up to 37,000 feet after we leave Italy. And there's the jet stream and the nice tailwind that we want pushing us all the way down. Okay. And there's the terrain as well that we spoke of a little bit earlier. So in terms of extra fuel then, we probably don't need too much. I mean, it's not a massive runway either, you know, short runway, narrow runway, so we don't want to be too heavy. Landing weight is planned to be 61.2, in which case, if we put a little bit extra on, you know, just for sort of contingent reasons, holding as well, if there's other aircraft going into Skiathos, it's a runway where usually you're having to use the turn pads at the end and backtrack because it's such a short runway. Then you might have to hold at the VOR for whatever reason, which is actually unserviceable, or at least the VOR side of it is. We can still use it as a holding point, yeah, if we took 6.5, that should be fine. But what we're going to do with that, it means that that is about 600 kilograms extra. So if we did a landing calculation for dispatch now of 61.8, let's see if we can still get in. So 61.8 tons for the landing. LG SK 01. Apply the METAR, and it is dry. That doesn't look convincing, does it? Max manual 5-4. Okay, yeah, we can get in, so that's fine. See, landing distance available. It is a very short runway. So in real life, what pilots would have is if they were using something like FlySmart, the Airbus calculator that the pilots have, they would, for this landing, have a regulated landing weight, which they are not allowed to go over. Obviously, we don't have that, so we do the dispatch calculation there, just to check, can we actually get in and safely stop? Well, we can with max landing. What we might do is we might not throw that much extra fuel on then. Instead of taking 6.5, we don't actually need that much extra in terms of the weather. The weather's looking pretty fine. So let's just take 6.2, which should be plenty. So that's what we'll tell the ground crew, and then we're very conservative with that landing calculation. We know we're going to be good, and we can and we can stop. Right. So that's that sorted. A quick look at the charts. So we're parked over here. I think we're at stand 54. We're departing runway 24, so we're going to push back. We'll taxi north Tango Sierra. There is an intersection possibility of taking off at Delta if that's in the EFB for us to use. If not, Echo Fox or full length Golf. We're not that heavy. The departure then, transition altitude is 8,000 feet. First turn will be to the left. That turn begins, and straight away actually 185 knots speed restriction in the turn, so we'll probably fly flaps 1. We'll check the figures in the box when we get on the jet, and we're going direct to Gemma, 6,000 feet. After Gemma, it's then direct the Sorrento VOR, our left turn, Galti, flight level 110. In terms of terrain and threats and that stuff, obviously those that are familiar with Naples will be aware. We've got Mount Vesuvius just here, which brings that MSA up to 8,400. So mitigating that threat, you know, if anything went really wrong, then fly southwest, and that should keep us away from any rubbish terrain that we want to avoid. Good. So I think then it's time now to go and find our jet. Let's go and take a look and have a look at this weather that we got here this morning in Naples. It's not great. Have a look. There we are. So yeah, doesn't this look lovely? A little bit of an issue, not an issue, but just something to be aware of. So obviously, if for whatever reason we do lose situational awareness just from a visual point of view, because we've no visual references with the amount of sort of mist and fog we've got here this morning, even more important to note that if something goes wrong when we're in the air, we can't climb for whatever reason, fly southwest, because we're not going to be able to see Mount Vesuvius and the associated terrain around it. But yeah. Hey Woodcut, is this freeware scenery? No, this is, I've forgotten who does Naples. RD Presets does Naples, but yeah, as you can see, it's looking very murky. So hopefully all our passengers this morning leaving a very murky Naples will be headed to sunnier skies in Skiathos. Right, let's get on board. Cold and dark setup. Let's see if we can remember what to do. And yeah, here she is. We don't do cold and dark setups very often, do we? So, usual stuff before we power anything on. Let's just check on the overhead. The wiper blades are off indeed. And we've got our thrust lever, starters, spoilers, flaps, parking brake, all of that stuff. Yep, that's fine. A couple of other things we do as well. Just want to go and check that the oxygen tank's there, just in case we need those for whatever reason. Hopefully that won't be the case, but you never know. Always worth checking. And then we can have a look at actually powering up the aircraft. Just 1 minute, my mouse has decided to not work anymore. There we go. Right, okay, let's power her up then. So battery voltage is above 25.5, so that's fine. There we are. External power is connected. And then we'll do an APU fire test in a moment. Just wait for the 3 clicks. Little nuance with the APU fire test. Don't press the test button. I don't know if this is simulated. This would be really cool if it is simulated. But don't press the APU test fire button for more than 3 seconds, because it can then discharge the squib in the back, which obviously you do not want. So you no idea why that is a little sort of feature, if you want to call it that, but it is indeed a danger. So no more than 3 seconds. Right, so I'll just test that. There we go, that's fine. So okay, get the ideas aligned, and I just now my screen's here. I'll pop that out so that works on my external McDo. Okay, crux supply, let's get that on, and ground clearance power, ground control power, CRV test. There we are, that should be set to captain. Nav logo lights can come on now we're here. Turn those on, turn those on, turn the packs off. APU bleed, that should be off. Let's turn these down a little bit so we don't warm the passengers up too much. Keep the fuel pumps off as we're going to refuel momentarily. I'll do fire 1. How's that not working? It's no good sign, is it? There we go, and the red light. And fire 2. Yeah, the red light. Perfect, they're all fine, and everything else is fine. Okie dokie. So, let's come down here. Now, I don't think we've got any, have we got any radar? We've got Rome radar online. Rome don't come down, I think, as far as Naples. So, let's get the weather information off the tablet. Good morning, Liana. Hope you're well. Just before I do that, we want 6.2 tons fuel, please. Ground crew. There we go. Right, METAR for Naples. So, yeah, rubbish. It's 21013. Just copying this down. 8 kilometers visibility. We've got light rain. A few clouds at 2,000 feet. Scattered clouds at 3,000 feet. Broken clouds at 8,000 feet. That's 3 different cloud layers to fly through. 20 degrees. QNH is 1011. And we've got recent rain with no significant changes. Okay, that's fine. Right, so QNH 1011. Set that on here. Check the audio control panel. It should be set to 121.5. This is the problem when you do a cold and dark setup. There's so much to do. That's fine. The radios they're off. Switching panels off. Thrust levers, engine master, spoilers, flaps, parking brake, gear extension. They're fine. Squawking 2000. Acupressure is not in the green, so we'll top that up in a second. Constraints on there. QNH 1011, and in the briefing room we discussed initial climb is going to be 6,000 feet, so we'll set that. Let's just top up the acupressure. See, this should happen when the cargo doors open. It doesn't seem to at the moment for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. There we go. Acupressure's up and in the green. Let's turn that off. Right, now let's set the appropriate level of lighting. So turn some of these down a little bit. Don't need to be quite so bright. Turn these up. Whether we'll use them isn't another matter. Turn these down. No one's going to read them. Just a little caveat as well to a morning stream. Any moment now, the first officer will go berserk because the postman will knock on the door as he does every morning. Right, refueling's underway. Those doors are open, so we're probably getting some catering, I think. Well, refuelers are here anyway, so hopefully some catering will come on board. I don't want everyone to get thirsty. Right, let's set up our flight then, shall we? So, 34 Alpha Mike, Naples, Skiathos. Alternate should be Athens. Total en route time 1 hour 30 minutes. Perfect. So, Iris is still aligning. That's fine. Aircraft status, CFM engines, and correct AirAx cycle. Okay, let's do the init request while we're waiting for the ideas to align, etc. 4 minutes before that happens. TF6, do we use reshade? No. Everything you see in here is just complete default. In terms of visuals, anyway. The only other thing that we've got in is the Rex AccuSeasons that obviously play a part. Looks really nice as well. That's just had an update as well. I probably need to download that. So Tropo is 38862. Grab the winds as well. Cal says nothing like watching this at 2 AM. Very early morning. Wow. Kivo says if this is real life, he needs to go to bed. Big shout out to everyone watching from, if anyone's watching in Australia and New Zealand. Right, cruising 36,000 and 54. Kieran, I don't fly with any virtual airline. No, no. Galaxy 7 Golf. And then arriving. We'll leave 19 in for now then, actually. And that is Vico 1 Charlie arrival. Okay, flight plan has got 492, I've got 474. Let's just do a gross error check there. Carl, is it important to enter the tropo? Yeah, it's all to do with sort of the fuel calculations and stuff like that. You provide the flight management guidance computer with as much information as possible, then it can accurately calculate stuff. I can't do a gross error check on the flight map because, well, I haven't got a map yet. That's the beauty of a cold and dark start. Right, RadNav page. We've already seen we've got the Sorrento VOR. They won't have auto-tuned that, of course, because it has no idea where we are. So we'll get that done manually. Yeah, I was on. And onto our init B page. Let's start loading the aircraft as well, shall we? Andrea, good morning. Hey, Annie. Excellent. Preliminary load sheet is in. So what have we got? A zero fuel rate of 58.5. I'm going to go 58.6, which you wouldn't normally do, but the Fenix started always handling 100 kilograms to my flight for some reason. So it's done that for a while now. I think it's done that actually since a sim update. Not since sim update. Since the Fenix was updated a couple of months back. Zero fuel weight C of G is 28.2. Fuel for the alternate up at Athens is 1.5 tons. It's not far away, is it, Athens, from Skiathos? And fuel planning. We've told ground crew to load 6.2 tons. Aircraft wants 6.1, so that's fine. Gives us sort of an extra 4 minutes according to the box, but a takeoff weight of 64.6. Alright, so with that, let's go to our perf page and just check. We want a CFG of... what the hell is that? 26.7. Service weight adjustment weight index has potable water. I never actually looked through all of this. Pantry effect prepared by Carl Green.
Passengers bus is coming.
I never scroll through this many pages. Have all those pages always been there? I've never noticed them before. Right, let's do the let's check out the performance calculations then. Alright, so it is absolutely not dry here. We're departing 2-4, it is wet. We'll go flaps 1, force toga, no. Anti-ice on. It's 20 degrees, so no, we won't need anti-ice on. Packs off. Takeoff weight is 646. That CFG is 267. And have we got any intersection potentials here? Oh, the echo. We'll take echo though. It's fractionally closer than full length. Alright, so that then gives us 124. VR is 140 and V2, also 140. Flaps 1. Flex 64. Transition altitude, as we've said, is 8,000 feet. So let's have a look at thrust reduction, acceleration, and engine out. Sim smart. And we'll get the engine out procedure as well. Uh, 1217. So yes, slightly different. 1217. 1217. And 1217. Lovely. They're all all up and in the box. Excuse me for coughing down the microphone. I seem to have woken up with a bit of a cough this morning. So the engine out procedure is non-standard, so it's pretty straightforward though. Let's go to our secondary flight plan, copy the active flight plan. So it's basically straight out there at 3,500 feet, direct to the Ischia waypoint. So all we will do is just pop in Kia in here. Enter the hold. 056 is the inbound course, and right turns, that's fine. And of course if we have lost an engine, then we'll be coming back here. Don't fancy Skiathos on one engine.
Hello. Thank you.
And that'll be arriving ILS 24 Zulu. No star. No veer. If things are that bad, then don't need any of those. ATC can vector you in, or we can vector ourselves in. Alright, let's see what that looks like. So, there we go. Straight out to Ischia. And enter the hold. And then we've got the ILS approach set up back in case we need it. Right, let me just have a look then. Now we've got the ideas all aligned at this actual flight route and make sure it makes sense. So that's the departure. Straight out towards Greece. And that has got us not looking how I wanted it to be honest. So that's why we checked it. It should come in to Ivico, then to the Skopelos VOR, which appears to be not showing there. So let's just have a quick look why that's not showing. Shouldn't be the NDB, should it? Oh, it should be. I put in the MBD. That's why I didn't put in the MBD. That's why. Right, check that again. That's why it's always worth checking the route. Make sure it's doing what you would expect it to. There we are. Fine. And we've got a bit of a discontinuity there as well, which I'll tidy up. Wonderful. Now that might change as well, depending on the winds, but we will see. Okay, back to arc mode and 20. Looks like fueling is being completed. Why am I showing flaps 1 plus F? What's really impressive is, with no hydraulic power yet, these shouldn't be able to move. So I'm not quite sure why the Fenix loaded with that in there. Hang on. Pop that on. And they should be able to retract. There we are. The last crew that taxied in must not have put the flaps up. Now, we did have a little ding there, didn't we? Anything on the systems page? No, we're fine. All right. Well, shall we brief now that we are now we're all set up? Just final check. We've got no ATC knocking about. No, we don't. So that's fine. All right. Let's brief away. So, starting with the weather, winds are 210 at 11, varying 170-240. So, fill that from the left as we depart. Visibility is now showing at 10 kilometers or more with a few clouds at 2,000, scattered 3,000, broken 8,000. Temperatures 20, QNH 1011. No significant changes, and we have had recent rain as well. Hence why we've gone for wet figures in the performance calculation for departure. Aircraft type A320, nothing in the tech log except the weather radar. No node times that affect our departures today. Threats to be aware of: terrain. That's the biggest threat. We've got Mount Vesuvius. We've got terrain basically to the southeast, to the east, and to the northeast of us as well. So yeah, that's our that's our biggest threat. And just to bring that into perspective for you, yeah, there we go. We've also got Mount Epomeo, whatever that's called, straight out there at 2,500 feet, but that shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, they're our biggest threat. Let's then go through how we are going to mitigate that threat. We said, you know, if we end up flying this as a Cessna, we're in pea soup as well, lots of cloud around, fly southwest. If we can't climb anywhere, let's fly southwest. We get over the sea, and then we're safe from terrain. Alright, so we're parked stand 54, I think. Yeah, confirm that. Stand 54. We're going to push back facing north, Tango Sierra. That'll be taxi out. We're taking Echo for the departure. It's not a long taxi, so single engine taxi is not really going to work for us today. We'll get both engines started on pushback. Departing then, runway 24, straight out then with a left-hand turn. Max speed is 185 in the turn. So let's just have a look. S speed is 190. So we're going to fly that flaps 1, and we will just have a look. Oh, interesting actually. So yeah, let's well, we'll just leave that in managed speed then. We'll pre-select 185. Not leave it in it won't be in managed speed. We'll pre-select 185, and yeah, flaps 1 through that first turn. What I mean, you could have overkilled it. We could have gone flaps 2 departure, which would have just got us up a little bit quicker, but don't really need to do that. So where are we? Yeah, 185 through the turn. Leave flaps 1 up. Once we get to Gemma, then we can accelerate away, retract the flaps, push for managed speed, and then we're flying Sorrento and then Galti. After Gemma, 6,000 feet, we'll continue the climb up to flight 110. No ATC, so we'll have to sort of give ourselves our own little climb instructions. Okay, so I think that's it, pretty much done. Departure is a standard noise abatement 2 departure. We've looked through the initial turn, initial climbs, etc., so that's all well and good. The engine out procedure. So the emergency engine out procedure, first thing we'll do is pull heading, and once we've got to 3,500 feet, we then turn towards the Ischia holding point. At that point, then we can level off and start to accelerate away, retract flaps on schedule, and we'll enter the hold at Ischia at 4,000 feet. For Ischia is over the sea, so we know we're good and safe. Right, that's done. Company messages come through. That should be our final load sheet. I believe now everybody is on. Everybody's now on board. Let's have a look. So that has given us a takeoff weight of 64.5 tons. That's fine, we planned 64.6. And the CFG is 26.9, we planned 26.7, so that's within 2% variation limits. So all our takeoff performance calculations are done. Excellent. Right, just bear with me one moment. Something's gone a little bit astray here with self-loading cargo. Seems to be having a moment, which is a bit weird. Doesn't normally. Seems to work quite well since that had an update. I like having the cabin sounds playing in the background as well. Right, well, let's get the APU started while I try and sort that lot out. So, APU is starting, and then we'll do the cockpit preparation checklist and sort that out as well. Jacob, sadly not. Good morning, Edelweiss. Hello.
Hi there, Captain. All of the passengers are now on board.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Right, if they're happy, I'm happy. Is there anyone else here at this airport? Oh yeah, we've got a fellow Easyjet. Ugh, look at that weather. Should we see if we can get out of here before that hits? Looks nicer over to the east anyway. APU's available. So I can come off, or rather they can come on. Disconnect external power. Seatbelt signs can come on. Refueling has completed. 6.2 tons and balanced. Hey Ash, thankfully you get to watch this from Sydney before bed. Sapphire. Oh Ash, fantastic. Hope the weather in Sydney is nice. Richard, is there any reason the weather report is not working in the McDo? I think that's the issue that we had a while ago where the NOAA changed the format of how things are done. So Phoenix have just not yet updated that, sadly. Right, it's been a minute. Let's get APU bleed on. Now we'll get ground crew into position. Alright, cockpit preparation checklist then. So aircraft acceptance has been completed. Fuel quantity is 6.2 tons. Balance. Seatbelt signs are on. Ideas. Oh, need to check those. No, we'll check those right at the start of the flight.
Hello, Captain.
3 now green.
Ready for pushback.
And the barrier of QNH is 1011, 280 feet. Quick PA to the passengers and you guys just joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight from Naples to Skiathos, where today we'll be cruising at 36,000 feet. We've got no departure delay, so we should be looking to push back in the next couple of minutes. No real traffic around either, so a nice short taxi time. Weather departure is looking a little bit rainy, so it might be bumpy on departure, but nothing to worry about. We have no en route delays showing either, so if you can get yourselves into your seat with the seatbelts safely fastened, then the cabin crew will shortly be starting their safety announcement. Thank you, I'll speak to you again soon. Harrison, any idea when we can buy the second batch of the mini cockpit? Would love to put it on the Christmas list. I've no idea, I'm afraid. No idea at all. Looking forward to playing with that though. That's gonna be great fun. Right, let's get on Unicom. Naples traffic up 134 Alpha Mike, stand 54 is pushing back facing northeast. Taxi out to intersection Echo, departure runway 24.
Release parking brakes.
Okay, beacon light on. Air pressure's in the green. Noticeable steering is
Release parking
disconnected.
brakes.
Parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Paranoid check, APU bleeds on. Get a pack on as well. Fresh air into the cabin. Engine mode selector to ignition. And starting engine 1. Harrison, yeah, that's the only disadvantage with the Phoenix and the Mini FCU cockpit. Not being able to see the numbers. I have to just read them off here. Still, I still think it's going to make a massive difference.
All stations, please arm doors.
Captain Agent W, good morning, mate. Great video earlier about the auto thrust and fire. Yeah, do you know, it was very interesting doing that video. I really enjoyed doing that video as well because, well, it was something very different for us on the channel. So I hope you guys liked it. And the old saying goes in aviation, doesn't it? Mistakes mean everyone could learn from them. Major aviator, i.e. when? No idea. Captain Bean, am I still using self-loading cargo with the flights? I am indeed, yes. Yeah. The clouds this morning look phenomenal. As does the rain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your
Mental
attention.
Captain H.W.
A safety card is in your seat pocket.
Parking brakes set.
Oxygen masks.
Cockpit to ground.
jackets,
We have a good
Engine 1 stable. Starting engine 2.
If you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit.
FMA, good
Please be
morning.
aware that
Thank
your
you.
nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times.
Unlocking gear.
If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap.
Really does look black behind us,
Pull
doesn't
on
it?
each side to adjust.
And ahead of us. In fact,
Put on your own
it's just
Naples
black.
traffic, Alpine 273. After the East A320 pushing back behind me, push back gate
Ice is
53.
clear.
Facing
Ice is
northeast.
clear.
waist. Click together.
Major aviator, do I have the latest GSX update? Probably not. Every time I launch that quality update or whatever it's called, I always seem to get a download start. I mean, I love GSX. What it does is brilliant, but I hate the software.
We also carry flotation aids for children.
Right, they've now disappeared, so that's fine. Engine number 2 is happy.
We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
I can come off. Spoilers, rudder, flaps 1, and yep. Okay. Have to start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Ecom status is checked. Pitch trims 26.9. Rudder is neutral. Okay, we're going to taxi down Tango Sierra and then take Echo. Naples traffic Alpine 34 Alpha Mike taxiing via Tango Sierra, holding point Echo runway 24. Okay, flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, full left, and neutral. Morning, Starbro. Brake check. Alright, let's check. No change to our performance. Wet figures from Echo, runway 24, no LMCs. Engine out procedure is non-standard. Pull heading, fly straight out, and at 3,500 feet, direct is Kia, which is the holding point, where we'll hold at 4,000 feet.
Hi,
Hello.
Captain. Everyone's seated and secured for takeoff. Just let me know when you're ready to go, and I'll get the crew seated.
Short taxi this morning, so you can be seated for takeoff now, thanks.
No problem.
Right, just got master caution, got side stick fault, clear master caution. Who on earth is now wanting to talk to me? And clear those. Alright, so let's just continue our head check. Departure is straight out with a left turn, max speed 185. That's been pre-selected, it's in flaps 1. Once we get past Gemma, then we can push for managed speed and accelerate away. Our initial climb is 6,000 feet. Taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Flap setting is config 1. FMA climb up blue 152 6,000 blue. Radar and predicted wind shear are on. Ecam memo. Waiting for the cabin. EFB is stowed. Disconnected. Come on, cabin. Sort yourself out. Denton getting a beer this early in the morning. Well, why not? Why not? We're going on holiday. Yes, mind. Good morning. Yeah, Nolan Aviation. Good morning to you as well. Hope you're doing well today. And thank you for joining us. Oh, Denton, yeah, it's about 11 PM where you are. Okay, hope you had a good day then. You deserve the beer.
243, taxiing via San Sierra to Echo runway.
Original Ming, good morning to you. Right, so we're gonna go left here on Echo. Hey J-Hog, well, thanks for joining us. Have a good day, whatever it is you're doing. Thought you were retired, you don't have to go out anymore. Oh my god, look at that sky. Okay, approach path looks wet. Approach path looks clear. Naples traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, lining up runway 24 via intersection Echo. Hey, football moments. Why aren't you in school? Oh, you guys are on holiday this week, aren't you? Yeah, of course you are. Literally, half the kids around us are on holiday and half are not, depending on whereabouts they reside, which school they go to. Good morning, Hitman. Oh, this is gonna get wet. Line up checklist then, cabin secure, takeoff runway 24 via echoes confirmed, TCAS, TARA, packs are off. Why have we stopped turning? Surely we didn't run out of that much momentum. Okay, let's go. Take off. Start the chrono 50% and 1 is set. Engine 1 critical. Stable, set takeoff thrust. Man flex, SRS, runway. Knots. One. Rotate.
Naples traffic, Alpine to Airport 3, landing up on way to home.
Positive climb, gear up. Climb, climb. Autopilot 1 engaged. I love the view taking off from Naples. Good morning, Nick. How you doing? Looks like an awful day though in Naples, to be fair. Side stick, master caution, disregard. Clear again. Okay, no air traffic control, so clear ourselves, flight level 110, standard pressure, open climb 110 blue. Hear my first officer barking. I knew the postman had arrived at the worst possible time. Right, guys, just watch the aeroplane for 30 seconds. Back in a moment. Hopefully, it'll be fine. Back 1 second. And we're back. Clearly the postman didn't get the memo about sterile cockpit below 10,000 feet. Okay, so we're about to pass Gemma, which means we will push for managed speed. We didn't seem to get wet, did we? We managed to avoid the rain there. Oh no, let's start accelerating away then. Cabin crew is released.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on.
Spoilers and, well, flap zero spoilers disarmed.
Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted.
Good time for the check then, so we've got spoilers, flaps, gear, lights are off.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh
Good and safe now, so
All details can be found
what we'll do now is go direct to Galti.
together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payments in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Robbie, for whatever reason you lost contact with air traffic control, what are the flight rules? Different airports have different sort of procedures that you can do when you've lost contact with ATC, and ATC will know you've lost contact with them because obviously if they try and reach you, you'll not reply. And if that is the case, they'll make sure everything else can stay out of your way, and you'll fly to where you're going, and then follow their what's on the charts with regards to the lost comms procedures. Speed alt start, and level 360 is okay for us today. Ooh, bit of turbulence there. Level 360 and thrust climb up climb 360. Woo. Okay, so past 10,000 feet, we're airports onto the EFIS RadNav page. We'll now clear out. 360 just said, as you can see there, is fine. Ultimate's 3.5, but we're going the wrong direction for that. Cost index of 0 and secondary flight plan. Copy the active. Get rid of the engine out procedure in there because we don't need it. Am I running FS2 crew, Major? No, I'm not, no. Stubby, what does this button do? Well, that's the eject button. Right, these clouds look stunning today, don't they? You get days like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact members of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Andrea, how you set the nav radio input the VOR frequency manually? How do you get it back into automatic mode? Literally what we've just done. So if you go to the RadNav page, so we'd auto-tuned SOR, for example. So if I just do that again, there we go. So that's sorry, hard-tuned, not auto-tuned. So we've hard-tuned the SOR, so that's now showing down down here. If you want to get it back to automatic, just press clear and then press that, and it will start auto-tuning for you again. Right, that's it, we're on our way. Let's hope the weather is much nicer in Skiathos when we get there. Best keep an eye on the weather there, haven't we? See what runway we're going to land on. At the moment, METAR is showing variable winds at 3 knots. I still reckon that's going to be a nice runway 01 landing. DJ, how do you find ground speed instead of airspeed? That is located just here at the top of your navigation display. Which is always worthwhile to know, particularly when you're on approach to somewhere where you've got a really strong headwind. So might be looking at your speed here, and you've reduced to final approach speed, your VAP speed, and this will be showing like 160, 165, and you think, oh my god, why am I not slowing down? But actually, if you've got a really strong headwind, check the ground speed, and you'll find your ground speed is probably much closer to your VAP speed, so you know the ground speed mini is working and actually you're not flying as fast as you think. Do I want to fly through that? No. We might deviate for some weather. Carl, how much better is the Fenix than the fly-by-wire? Like, why is it worth the upgrade? It all depends, Carl, on what sort of systems depth you want to try and simulate. So, if you want a secondary flight plan working, for example, if you want to fly RNAV approaches correctly, at the moment the Fenix can do these, whereas the fly-by-wire can't. I mean, obviously the fly-by-wire have got those planned, it's just as and when they get released. Hey, Animated Christmas Collector. What a great name. Do I use real turbulence cat areas? You might need to explain that to me. Real turbulence, clear air turbulence areas? Go on, I'll let you elaborate on that for me. Reyes had to reduce lag spikes and stutters when about to touch down at Microsoft Flight Simulator. Level of detail seems to be one of the big things. Looks like we're going to climb above that weather, so we don't need to deviate. That looks stunning, doesn't it? Look at that. I think that looks beautiful. Actually, it seems weird logic of the Airbus with the lights on. That's clicking it backwards to me. It's forwards. Crazy French. It depends what you're used to, I guess. DJ, you can't increase your speed over 280 knots, otherwise it says overspeed. What could be the problem? DJ, what altitude are you at, just out of interest? Bobby, looks like the volcano just let go. Yeah, looks like a bit of an ash cloud. Nick T, hello. That looks beautiful. Literally clearing that nasty weather off just to the right of us, which is down here, look. James, in my opinion, which seems more realistic, explain on Microsoft Flight Simulator. That is such a difficult question to answer. And I bet if you... Do you know what? Yeah, I will. I'm going to ask the chat that question, and I bet we get so many different answers. So... Go on then, chat. Just type in the chat for me. Which is more realistic? Not which is better or which one do you prefer. Which is more realistic? Explain on Microsoft Flight Simulator. James, let's see what we get. DJ, if you're at 36,000 feet, chances are you're not going to go over 280 knots. Because you're not working in knots, you're going to be working in max speed. So, see what your true airspeed is up here, and I bet it's a lot higher than 280 knots. And I reckon you're doing a Mach 7.6, 7.7, something like that. So don't worry about it. Above 24,000 feet, you're usually working in max speed rather than airspeed. So Stubby says Microsoft Flight Simulators more realistic. Animated, yeah, clear air turbos. I don't even know how Microsoft Flight Simulator would simulate that, because it usually doesn't appear on any charts or anything for it. So that's the whole point of it. I don't like Bings. What's that? Oh, okay, it's the side stick error again. Okay, master caution, clear master caution. Disregard, cancel the account. Stefan, you had quite a few stutters that learned that code by RD presets. I think it's most likely caused by photogrammetry in Naples, which is quite heavy. Loads of people sitting on the fence with that that question as to explain Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's the thing. I think what one sim does well, the other sim doesn't do quite as well, and vice versa. So it is difficult to answer. X-Plane has always been better for flight dynamics, hasn't it, in the past? Though I think Microsoft Flight Simulator is catching up. Right. Well, we should be on the ground in about an hour. It's not actually a long flight. This. which is great. A major aviator actually does make a good point as well. It depends on the aircraft that you're flying. Right, we're going to head through a bit of a cloud there. Just keep an eye on the temperature. It's minus 34, so that is within icing limits. And Elvin Pierre says Microsoft Flight Simulator, he doesn't own X-Plane. So yeah, okay, fair play. I don't own X-Plane anymore. I haven't had it for years. Da Vinci, good morning, Squire. How are you doing, sir? Denton, you need convincing to stay longer. Go on, stick around for the landing. Cat C landing, short runway, narrow runway, manual approach. What's not to love? Kieran, EET stands for estimated en route time. And what operational flight plan layout are you using? Because everyone is slightly different. It is indeed Skiathos, good Denton, it is, yeah. Planes and Trains, just want to say thank you. Watched your video on the stutter fix for the displays and it worked great. I'm sure that'll get rolled out as an option across the board soon, planes, because yeah, it's a good little fix, isn't it? Kieran, you are using the easy layout. Oh, that's okay then. And the MN column, where is that you refer? You don't mean the MT column, do you? Which is the magnetic track? Oh, MAC number. Yes, so IAS and then MAC number. In fact, there is a video on the channel which goes through all of your operational flight plan in the Easyjet layout, of course, and explains it in detail if you want to check that out after this. Right, it's cold enough not to need that anymore. Let's get rid. Ooh, I think I've got a cup of tea somewhere in the kitchen. I might have to go and grab that. Nolex, you will say you... Oh, this is interesting. Nolex, been seriously trying to restrain himself from porting over to X-Plane. Sick of Microsoft Flight Simulator and crash to desktops and bugs. The only thing stopping him is he is heavily invested. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I have very little experience with X-Plane, but perhaps if you do, there in the chat, what would you say is more buggy, X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Simulator? I've heard multiple reports on this, and lots of people saying that X-Plane is just, you need so many mods to make it work sort of properly out of the box and look right, whereas Microsoft Flight Simulator does just work. Ash, I think in the future you're going to get a lot of new pilots that come through following the release of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But you know, I think as well, flight simulation has always been sort of a catalyst for new pilots. I think if you speak to most real-world pilots that are now doing it commercially, you'll hear stories of them, you know, saying they would spend hours on Microsoft Flight Simulator 95, 98, etc. I know I certainly did. And it's kind of what piques your interest. I mean, what is it that I love about planes? I can't describe. I don't know what it is. And it's not just planes. I love that airport environment. I love air traffic control, the logistics of it all, how one small minor detail can upset an entire day. It's incredible. So try. Well, my wife doesn't get it. And I think unless you share that passion, you probably don't get it, which is fine. But ask me to explain why I love aviation. I see, I'm not bothered at all though about military. I'm not interested in the slightest. But commercial aviation, yeah, I can't explain what it is that I love so much, or why I like it, or why I'm fascinated. It's just very difficult to put a finger on. Christian, it's always amazing how great your graphics look. I don't do anything to them, Christian. It's apart from the normal add-ons. So we've got obviously we've got the Phoenix Rex Accu Seasons on screen right now. That is all you can see. Nothing else. I mean, to be fair, there isn't that much to see, is there? It's a bit of a cloudy day over Italy. Good morning, Christian. You virtually switched from beloved Vueling and joining the Orange Force. Can't fly today, you've got work to do. It is a shame work gets in the way. Lemon, what is the weather like in my area? What in real life, Lemon? It was cold this morning, but it wasn't wet, so that's good. Right, we're about to hit top of climb. Which, if you remember, that was around where the highest shear rate was, so we'll see if anything happens. Probably not, it was only a 6. Do the top of climb checks, get some en route weathers, and start looking how we're going to fly into Skiathos. Because, as I say, it's not a long flight, we're going to be there in about 45 minutes, I reckon. And I do need to go and grab my tea from the galley. Mac Alt Star.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy your drink.
And I'll cruise. The legend Dark Fury is in the chat. Hey Dark, how you doing, mate? Oh wow, thank you so much. That is that's really generous, mate. Thank you so much for your £10 super chat. What do I love about aviation? I don't know. I can't answer it. It's maybe it's something deep rooted inside me that I clearly can't explain. I wish I could put it into words, but I'm not eloquent enough. Right, nothing's broken. Thank you, Doug. Do appreciate that. It's very generous of you. Okay, let's do a fuel check as well at Zapat. See what we've got. So we took 6.2 tons, didn't we? So it's about 300 kilograms extra plus contingency. It's about half a ton extra. So at Zapat, we should have about 4.1 tons. We've got 4.2 at the moment. We're 32 miles away. That fuel check looks good to me. Now, this is why I call upon you guys to help me out, because the weather isn't working. Let's have a look. Could I get some on weathers then, please, if you guys would like to check this out for me? So, Lima, India, Bravo, Romeo, which I think is Brindisi, which is a destination. See what that's like. Could I also get the weather for Lati, Lima Alpha Tango India, and we'll also check out Athens as well, please. That'd be great. If anyone wants to throw those metas into the chat, that'd be wonderful. Thank you, Dark. So, is it Brindisi? Lima India Bravo Romeo. I think it is. That's wide open, so that's somewhere to dive into if we need it. Lati's got light rain, but that's wide open as well if we need it. And Athens, also wide open, with QNH of 1014, 25 degrees. I'd take that. Is 25 degrees warm enough for swimming pool weather, do you reckon, if you're on holiday? Not so sure. Right, let's have a look what the latest bets are in for Skiathos then. So that was an hour ago, just over. Variable 3 knots, cav OK. Alright. Well, that for me would work for runway 01. Alright. Plan B. Let's jump onto flight radar 24 and see what's happening in real life there. To be honest, it's difficult to say. There's only one flight planned to arrive there today, and that's not until this evening. Oh well. Liana, that's the thing about the wind, isn't it? Obviously when you're wet, you feel it more. The evaporation effect cools the skin as the water evaporates off you, taking energy away, which is why you feel wet when you're cold. No, why you feel cold when you're wet. So if you've no wind, it can, like you say, it can be okay. Leaving Italy behind now. Shame we've got such thick cloud cover. There's not too much to see, is there? Right, I am going to go and grab my drink, and then we'll have a look at this approach. Back in a moment, guys. If you have enjoyed the flight so far this morning, then please do hit that like button. It does make a massive difference. It really does. I keep saying this because, well, it doesn't. That's a great way that you guys help support us and the channel, so thank you so much everyone who's already hit the like button for us. So yeah, just back in a moment. I'm going to grab my cup of tea that I've left in the galley. Oh, I'm back. Just walked into the kitchen, found my first officer sprawled out on the sofa. Now, no, we don't normally have a sofa in the kitchen, but we're having a new carpet down in the living room later this afternoon. So, hence a reason for a morning stream. So yeah, he's just like he's living it up. He thinks we brought him a brand new basket to sit on. He's going to be very disappointed this evening when that disappears. Christian, did I miss a little bit of turbulence? Oh. I never felt a thing. Oh, that's a nice view. What the hell is that? Okay, we've got an ELAC 1 fault. Okay. Flight control, ELAC 1 fault. Who broke my aircraft while I was away? Dark, I'm looking at you. Let's confirm that. ELAC 1 fault on the overhead, illuminated, and also the flight controls page, ELAC 1. Okay. Cancel master caution. Okay, ECAM actions. ELAC 1 off. ELAC 1 on. And rather unfortunately at the same time we've got a side signal. Cancel master caution. Okay. Fixed. How many random failures have we had recently on these streams? That is ridiculous. Mark, exactly. What's going on with my plane at the minute? It just keeps breaking. I need to send it for maintenance. Neil, your dinner's on the ceiling. How bad was the turbulence? I'm going to have to rewatch the stream afterwards to see how bad it was. Okay, so let's just discuss that. Obviously, that may happen again if we've got a bit of a faulty ELAC thing, but good old Airbus logic, turn it off and then turn it back on again. Keep an eye on that. Hopefully that's it all done. Captain, the passengers were screaming. Were they? Awesome. Tiago, I honestly can't remember what my turbulence setting is. I think it might be at low. Right, let's have a look at this approach. I mean, Skiathos probably haven't updated their meta, have they, if they've not got anything coming in. Variable 3 knots. So I'm going to work on variable 3 knots, and I'm going to plan for a runway. I'm going to plan for a runway 01 arrival. Which takes us from Skiathos VOR towards the NDB. And it's still on the Aviki over 1 Charlie arrival. Let's see what that's like. That doesn't look what I want. So look at the veer. Why is that taking us via Itika? Have I put the wrong... No, because I put the wrong star in, that's why. Idiot. That's the one. There we are. That's better. Right, insert that. Let's check the coding of that against the charts. Hello.
Hi, Captain. Would you like a drink, tea, coffee, or water?
Keep it realistic. Oh yeah, I'll have a cup of tea, please.
No problem. I'll get it for you now.
Okay, so that comes in via the SKP VOR. And then we've got 203 Charlie, 203 Juliet, FQ01, and then we're visual. Perfect, that's what we've got in, so that's going to keep workload management nice and low for us, not having to manually fly this. We can fly this all in nav mode. Once we get to the waypoint FQ01, then we can disconnect autopilot and we should be visual at that point. That's visual landing, which will be great. Now, what have we got altitude-wise? So, VOR 4,000 feet. Hello.
Hi, Captain. I've made your drinks. They're waiting for you in the galley area.
Thank you.
No problem.
And as if by magic, here it is. So, how are we going to fly this? So, 4,000 feet at the VOR down to 2,000 feet by 203 Juliet. Let's check the coding and see if that is in there. Which it's not, actually, looking at that. So, I am going to amend this. So, 2,000 feet. There. I mean, that, yeah, I suppose that is the lowest you can fly down to, isn't it? But it will just help make sure that we're not going to be too fast as well. So a nice steady descent. These are not mandatory altitudes, remember. They just mean that we're going to be able to configure ourselves and get ourselves sorted without any sort of panic. Yeah, look, there we go. Altitude constraint there is just above 4,000 feet. But if I just tune that as a hard altitude, put that in there. I could also just have a look at the speed. So it wants 185 just here. Yeah, that makes sense. I might just slow that a little bit, as I prefer 180. That's good. Our box is set up. Probably leave that in managed descent for most of the way down now. Okay, RadNav page. We'll get the SKP VOR in there, and there's an NDB as well, SKC. There we are. Da Vinci doing a visual. Yeah. So once I've got airport in sight, which should be around FQ01, then we've got visual track, which will just we'll just fly towards the runway. And what is it? Platform altitude 1,600 feet. So I think that might be in the box as well. Yes, it is. Yeah, 1,603 degrees. Yes, that'd be nice. Well, and track FPA mode as well. And what do we do when we turn the autopilot off in track FPA mode, everybody? Let's just grab a bit more information on this. So, runway visual range is about 5 kilometers. Yep. MDA is 1,600. That's fine. Good. Okay. So that's sorted. RANAV sorted. LGSK runway. Is it 01? Isn't it? Yeah. Looking to land with what, 58, 59, 60, 61, just over 61.5 tons, about 61.6 tons. Secondary flight plan as well, will come with active. Alright, good. Box is set. How long till top of descent? We've not missed it, have we? No, we're about 60 miles away. Alright, let's brief. So, the weather in Skiathos, first of all. Just check, see if that's updated at all. Yeah, so it's variable 3 knots, cav OK, 22 degrees, QNH is 1011. Just select those. That's fine. So that's the same as it was in Naples. That's handy. So yeah, no concerns with the weather today. Aircraft had a little bit of a wobble with an ELAC, but we'll fix that. So it seems to be working as planned. No NOTAMs for our arrival. Threats to be aware of. Okay, so let's just go through these. Obviously, whatever this island's called here, Scopelos, I don't know if that's the name of the island, but we've just got a bit of terrain there to the east of the VOR, but the main thing is this little bit of terrain here just to the west of the airport. So let's just be aware of that. I mean, we're going to be VMC, so I'm not going to be too concerned. So in terms of terrain, not too much to worry us as long as we stay on track. Other threats to be aware of: it's a visual landing, of course. So make sure, as we've just said as well, we'll fly in track FBA mode, which I'll talk through in a moment. Then the flight director off on Easyjet autopilot. It's a very narrow runway. It's only 30 meters wide, so you get a bit of a false perspective sometimes. So let's really nail on those pappies. And in fact, do we have pappies? That is a very good question. Yes, we do. Runway 01. Pappy angle is 3.04. Yeah, so 30 meters wide, short runway. So that's another little threat to be aware of. Let's maintain the pappies and not get put off by the fact that the runway does look narrower than what we're used to. It's a short runway as well, so we're not going to be too concerned with a nice butter smooth floaty landing. Let's plant it down and stop the aircraft. Now I can't recall. I'm going to have to go through here just to check. Taxiing, turn circle, must make clockwise turn, minimal power. Are we allowed to turn on the runway here? Doesn't say. Doesn't say we have to use the turning circle. So I think we can turn on the runway if we need to. Then again, depending on when we stop, it might just be easy to carry on straight to the turn circle. So the aircraft can turn round on here. It's 30 meters wide runway. The turn circle for the 320 is 24 meters, so we can do it, but probably safe to get to the end. Alright, let's go through the box then, enter our destination data as well. So let's check. We've got the Locator 01 arrival in the box, the Ivico 1 Charlie arrival. Radnav got the SKP VOR and the SKC NDB. Yeah, there we go, 131 miles away. Oh, cost index should be back at 4. Let's go and pop in the information here then. So the QNH is 1011, 22 degrees. Winds will be 190 at 3. Transition altitude is 4,000 feet. Minimums are 16. and it's config full landing. Auto brake, medium, and both flight plans are currently the same. So in terms of how to fly the approach, we will be green dot 4,000 feet at Scopello. From there we will descend down 2,000 feet, flaps 1, flaps 2 as we approach FQ01 at 1,600 feet. In fact, no. Flaps 2 will be sooner than, flaps 2 will probably be in the turn, max speed there is 185, so yeah, flaps 2 in the turn, gear down at, as we approach FQ01, and we will at this point be prepared for landing, so it's going to be flaps 3, and I want to be fully configured actually by FQ01 because it's only 5 miles away. From there, we'll flight and track FPA mode, so that I've got the bird on the screen, flight directors off, we return autopilot off, and then we are visual. What I will do as well, it is an offset approach, so when I'm happy and we are visual and I can see all the land, I don't mind coming in. I'll just come in left a little bit to align with that runway rather than sort of leaving it last minute. We've got max manual. We've got max manual brakes up our sleeves if I need them, otherwise we're using medium auto brakes. And then as for parking, well, probably this aircraft does stop really quickly in the simulator, but in real life we'll probably get to the end, turn around, backtrack, and Alpha 1 and park up. If we need to go around, then it's straight out when we're 2,500 feet, right turn, flaps 1, 185, and back to the VOR, and have another go. So that's it, all done, all briefed. I can have my tea now. Right, back to the chat. Connor, do I ever fly on IVAO? I don't even have an account on there or anything, so it's no. Ladies and gentlemen, hello once again from the flight deck. We're currently cruising at 36,000 feet. Looks like we're on time as well, and the en route weather is looking really nice. Descent will start very soon, and I'll speak to you with an updated estimate of arrival time and the weather in Skiathos when we're on approach. Thank you, I'll speak to you again in a bit. Ah, good morning, Nick. How are you? Good to see you. Pedro, how much separation should aircraft have for landing? Well, no, if it was... yeah, good question. If it was a normal airport, ATC can allow up to 3 miles for separation. That also depends on the category of the aircraft, you know, whether it's a medium, heavy aircraft, etc. But for this, I would probably allow 10 miles or so because of backtracking. See, Connie, yeah, I've not used IVAO before. It's alien to me. And Nolex Nick was accusing you of redeeming a failure when you were at Lidl. I had a failure anyway, Nolex. You didn't need to redeem one, I tell you. My aircraft's haunted at the minute. Ollie, what flight am I doing after this? I'm doing nothing. I'm flying to the supermarket to buy something for tea, if that counts. KW Airlines, I don't follow Easyjet Virtual, and I don't know their standard operating procedures unless they happen to be the same as the real Orange company. Right, time to start heading down, and we're already in cloud look. Okay, so thrust idle, open descent 100, blue, down we go. So here comes the fun bit. Oh, I wish that needed to stop. I'm going to have to fix that. You know, Liana, what would be really, really cool is if somehow you could interface your sim with somebody else remotely. Maybe using something like FSI panel, for example, if they can write that into the coding, and have a sort of remote workstation, kind of like in the D-level sims where the instructor's sat behind and they can affect things, kind of stuff. If you could do that remotely and break someone's aircraft, you know, fail a few things, turn a screen off, that'd be kind of cool. But dangerous, and no way in hell would I give HD the password to log on, because I'd never have a safe flight again. Right, we're at 1,000 feet above profile, that's okay. Can live with that. Da Vinci, you've got into the habit now of using VS on the way down so much. I do when I get probably within sort of like 30 track miles or so of the airport. That way, just to try and get a nice CDA. Mita, when descending, do you always use open descent or sometimes manage? Do you struggle to get the plane down on time when you use managed descent, even if you calculate the miles to the okay, so the only reason I've got open descent is because I was high. If I was starting my descent, and everyone does this differently, like Da Vinci's just said he uses VS. My rule of thumb, and this is me, so by no means don't have to follow me, but what I do is if I'm told by air traffic control to start descent and I'm before my top of descent, I use managed descent. That way I'll just descend at 1,000 feet per minute all the way down. It'll catch up with the profile and it should be fine. If I am left high, then I'm maybe a couple of thousand feet above the profile, I'll use open descent and then I will wind the speed up, which I'm going to do now because I'm not catching up with the profile at the moment. So open descent, wind that speed up, and that will start now to the VDEF should start to drop. And then, as I've just said as well, when I'm getting a little bit closer to the airport and I can see where we're going to intersect the glide slope and if I can get them to align perfectly, I use VS for that. Oh yeah, Da Vinci, that's it exactly. Yeah, so open descent to get back on profile, slow it off with VS and manage it with VS as well. Yeah, sounds similar to how I fly. I don't think. Do I ever use managed descent? Probably not. Although I have actually for this arrival, just to keep workload management nice and low, I have said I am briefed. I'm going to leave it in managed descent, sort of from the VOR onwards, to get us down to the platform altitude. That way I don't have to think about it, and it's all coded in the box. At which point I'll just keep looking at making sure we're extending flaps, etc., and configuring. Keep an eye on things, spoilers if required, and then visual approach it in. Blue Grand PC, good morning. It's nice to mix it up a bit. Conrad, do I think the Phoenix is worth the money? For absolutely £50. I know £50 is a lot of money to a lot of people, but when you consider the Latin VFR A330 that's just come out, it's £30. The difference between the two is night and day. £20 for the difference, it's unthinkable. Liana, I saw that was Showmass. He kills fairies for fun. Bless him. He's a legend in the fly-by-wire chat. Connor, what's my favourite feature of the Phoenix? All of it. Nurul, good evening. How are you? Stubby, so I increased the speed by 5 MP. I've lost you, Stubby. I'm not quite sure what you mean there. Barney Ox, no information or updates as of yet. Still not catching up with this profile, so let's speed up a bit more. Oh yeah, I do indeed use GSX, that's right. Oh, Stubby, to get the plane to descend faster, you increase the speed. Yes, because we're at thrust idle, which means we're going, whenever you start to descend and target an altitude, the thrust, when the auto thrust is on anyway, moves back to idle. So what's the only way to speed your aircraft up and hold the speed? It's to lower the nose. So yeah, increase your speed. Doesn't increase your ground speed so much, but it points you towards the ground a little bit more to gain speed. Soren! Mate, welcome back to First Officers Club. Thanks so much, mate. Appreciate that. Frost89, good morning. Pedro, you're right behind me, so don't mess the landing. I can't promise that. Eastrain, what's my thoughts on the Naples A320 Neo? It's going to be perfect for Xbox Sims. Yes, it will. And I think that's going to be a much more rounded product than the Latin VFR A330 that just came out. I know I didn't trash it, well I might have done, but I really was left disappointed with the Latin VFR A330. Had they charged £10, £15 for it, I'd have been a lot more on board with it. I think £30 is extortionate for what they're offering. And if anyone purchases that on PC, why? But any builds, I love their A310. We definitely don't fly that enough. I need to fly that again. Spooky just finished flight from Bristol to Alicante in the 321 Neo. Excellent. Hope you had a good landing. No, I hope you had a safe landing. Frost jumped into 737 after starting sim flying with the A320. Oh my god, such a change. Oh Frost, don't talk to me about Boeing. Speak to Nolex and Dark Fury. They'll help you out. Spooky is in Skiathos waiting to see me butt at the landing. You won't. I'm going to be slamming this in to make sure we stop. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll have noticed now we've started our descent towards Skiathos, and we should have you safely on the ground in about 15 minutes time. The weather down there, winds are light, it's 22 degrees, so a nice day all round. Thank you very much for flying with us, and I will speak to you shortly. Bye bye. Okay, let's get the seatbelt signs on, start to concentrate on what we're doing now. You're saying the A310 is great. It's, if you like flying Boeing, I guess the A310 is a nice little link between Boeing and Airbus. It was just before everything became automated in Airbus, so it's really neat. No announcement in Italian? No, because I've not got self-loading cargo set up fully for that yet. Right, let's start bringing that speed back. Open descent 4,000 blue. And the approach checklist. Bar FQNH is 1011. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums 1,600. Auto brake medium and EFB stowed. Mitov, you can trigger passenger boarding by just flicking the intercom button down here. Just flick it up and passengers will start boarding. Right, let's activate the approach phase. That's done. Should be able to see Skiathos down here actually, our little airport. Although I do like the new updated self-loading cargo, yeah. It takes quite a bit of tweaking to get it all to work. If you had the old one working perfectly and then you've now moved on to the new one, it does take a while. Pedro, I'll leave it up to you. If I'm not off the runway, you're the one that's going to have to go around. So, your choice, my friend. Your choice. Skiathos traffic. Alpine 34 Alpha Mike is now just abeam the airfield to the north and will be starting a right-hand traffic pattern approach for the runway 01 arrival. Right, let's manage the speed. You don't need to touch the loading button in the EFB Mitov. No, that's right. Okay, flaps 1. I'll just get that out for a little bit of extra drag because we are still high on this approach. So flaps 1, speed's checked. Flaps 1. Speed brake's still out. Let's slow that speed down. So 185. We're okay actually looking at this. This is going to be fine. Speed brakes can go away. Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is
1,600 blue.
inside. Your tray tables must be stowed, armrests down, and window blinds open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you.
Airport's down there somewhere.
In service.
There we go. Caught up with the profile nicely. Right. Pop that into descent mode. So manage descent now for the way down. Ray, thank you for subscribing. Not happy with the speed. What's going on here? Right, that speed's just messed us up slightly because I now can't configure flaps 2. Ah, shouldn't have trusted descent mode. Get the gear down in a moment. There we go. Flaps 2, speed's checked, flaps 2. Sipos, thank you for the sub. Right, manage speed. Cabin crew seats for landing. It's a beautiful clear day. I can see the airport clearly now.
Hundred above.
Lovely, okay. Track FBA. Gear down. Flaps 3. Speeds checked, flaps 3.
Minimum.
Continue.
Minimum. Minimum.
Flaps full.
Minimum.
Landing checklist. Cabin secured. Autopilot off. Flight arches off.
Minimum.
Must approach altitude to 2,500 feet. Incoming landing no blue. One of the other things I could have done to help with this approach is we could have extended the runway centre line, but never mind. I'm faffing about that now. So as I said, we're nice and visual, so happy to come closer to the left so we've got longer time on that centre line. Little tailwind, it's not much, but it's there.
$500.
And stable. Move that sailboat out of the way.
$50, $40,
Too low,
$30,
terrain.
$20. Retard.
Go around. Mantoga, SRS, go around track. First climb, open climb. Let's get that nose up. Autopilot engaged. Thrust climb, up climb, nav 4000 blue. And direct back to the VOR. Sierra Kilo Papa. Alright, so I'll activate the approach phase again. Manage speed. We needed to do a max speed of 185 in that turn, so we're okay here. I'm going to leave it in flaps 1. So the reason for the go around there was when I heard the speed of the radar call outs, I knew it was going to be a I knew it wasn't going to be a successful landing. That's basically why we did it. Do I need to hold? No, we don't, so let's continue the approach again.
Skiathos traffic, Alpine 203, land at runway 24, backtracking now.
Right, let's do it again. So from here we're going to go back to 1,600 feet and manage descent. So alt constraint. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously you will have seen we did a missed approach though, as we were unstable for our approach. Nothing to worry about. We're restarting the approach and we'll have you on the ground safely very soon. Thank you. Right, quick fuel check as well. We've got 2.6 tons. CNR for Athens was 2.2. I am going to double check that just in case. Oh, actually it was 2.6. That's interesting. Right, are we committing this time? 2.6. Yes, we are. Just to add insult to injury, I've just found out a message from my wife. The carpet fitters are early. They're going to be here in 20 minutes. Alright, another reason we really need to land. Okay, let's get her in this time, shall we?
Skiathos traffic, Alpine 243, vacated runway 01.
At least we know the runway is clear. Maybe I can get it on the ground, and then I might have to very quickly vacate so I can let these carpet fitters in. Alright, flaps 2, speeds checked, flaps 2. Speed 180 knots. Right, we need to run the approach checklist again as well. So QNH 1011, seatbelt signs obviously on. Minimum 1600, auto brake, medium. AFB stowed. Mike, we do have get there-itis this time around because I actually have a reason to. I would have had no qualms about going around again if I needed to, because I've got, well, I thought I'd got all the time in the world today, but turns out I don't. Tell the carpet cleaner. Oh, it's not a carpet cleaner, Nolik. It's a new carpet fitters. Tell them we've got more pressing matters, indeed. KW, how do you reactivate the approach? So it's just in the performance page again. Just yeah, as you would do normally. I hope they cut it neatly around the center pedestal. Right, track FPA mode. Gear down. Flaps 3. Speed's checked. Let's manage the speed. And flaps 3. And flaps 4. Landing checklist. Cabin secured, go around altitude is set. No it isn't. Autopilot off, flight director off. Go around altitude is actually 4,000 feet, not 2,500 feet. Minimums continue. Sorry, I'm going to say that again. Going altitude is 4,000 feet, not 2,500 feet. So let's do that landing checklist. Cabin secured, going altitude 4,000 feet. You can now land on Eagle Blue. Let's try again. Skiathos traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike on short final runway 01. Again.
Good luck from Alpine 243.
We need it. Got to land this time so I can let the carpet fitters in. I don't want them going on to their next job. The wife
500.
actually would kill me and you wouldn't see me again for a while. 500 feet, stable. The guy on that sailboat still hasn't learnt his lesson.
Fifty, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Spoilers deployed, reverse green. Thrust idle, manual brakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew
Right, so we'll want to see the replay, don't we? I think I've got just enough time to show it before I have to dart off. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come off VATSIM, so thank you for flying alongside us today. We're off VATSIM. I'm going to get rid of self-loading cargo because I don't want to hear them screaming. They've screamed enough on this flight already. Yeah, let's have a quick look.
Too low. Terrain.
Approach number 1. There. See it just drop. Didn't want that. Wasn't happy. And away we went. Approach number 2. There is a video going around somewhere of something very similar happening with a real approach. Not quite sure what's going on with the flaps there, or lack of them. And a similar sort of approach, I don't know where it was, but the captain literally at sort of what looked like the last minute threw the thrust levers to toga and took off again, basically going around, because the aircraft started to sink and drop, and he realised he needed to react really quickly, and oh my god, he was fast. Obviously did the safe thing, and that is effectively what I was pretty much doing there. Right guys, I have to run. I think the first officer's barking and I know what that means. I need to go and answer the door. So I will see you all again very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that. Just while I sort the first officer out, well, I'm going to leave the replay running. Thanks very much, guys. I shall see you all again in our next live stream. Details to be confirmed, of course, on our Discord server. Thanks for watching, everyone. Sorry for rushing off. See you all again very soon. Bye-bye.
Speed, speed, speed. Speed, speed, speed.
Tank rate.
Of course I'd just gone and answered the door. Where do you think I'd gone? Right, where are we? Are we still on the second go around? Yeah, go on then, let's go to the... I think the plane's just flying now, isn't it? Should we have a look at the second landing? Was that any better? There we are. I think did the replay reach its end and just decide that it was done? Go on then, before I do have to go. Let's see it land. I do love this scenery from Orbex as well. I think it's gorgeous. Oh, bang on the touchdown zone. Do you know what, actually? Yeah, we had a go around first time round, but that was spot on. You even got the centre line as well. Mind you, the runway's only 30 metres wide, so you kind of have to. Alright guys, I really am going to go now. Thanks so much everyone. I'll see you all next time round. Goodbye.